What is up, guys, and welcome back to GameBird Classic. Nintendo Switch Online has come a long way since its inception, from NES games to Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and the addition of the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass featuring N64 games, Game Boy Advance, and even the inclusion of some DLC. I actually made a prediction video about this in early 2021, saying that these things were going to come to NSO. My only big miss in my prediction was that I thought we were going to get some sort of virtual console tab in the eShop where you can purchase GameCube games at an affordable price. I was almost spot on. We didn't get GameCube in the eShop as far as a virtual console goes, but we have gotten remasters and re-releases on the Switch, which in my books is way better. But where do we go from here? We already know that Nintendo Switch Online is going to be an integral feature in Switch 2. Nintendo has already stated they want a seamless transition with NSO into their next gen console. As of right now, games are still kind of just barely trickling in, and in my opinion, with a few exceptions, I feel like with the current console offerings, most games that people would be excited about are already there. So what's next? New consoles, new features. That's what we're going to be talking about today, as I have a feeling some big things are coming to Switch Online on the Switch 2. If you guys enjoy this video, hit that notification button. Really helps me out. Don't forget to smash that subscription button and smash that notification bell so you guys will be notified when I upload brand new Nintendo content. But without further ado, let's dig right in. With Nintendo gearing up for their next generation console and NSO pretty much guaranteed to be a signature feature for the platform, what can Nintendo do to make the next gen of NSO even more enticing for players? Well, I have a few predictions. The first is an easy one, and that's new retro console libraries. I think there's a chance we could see Sega Dreamcast games added to Nintendo Switch Online. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, no way, Sega just announced that they're bringing back classic IPs with new entries. And while that may be true, hear me out. In those announced games, Sega only confirmed 2 Dreamcast games. That's Jet Grind Radio and Crazy Taxi. And while I'm sure there will be more where that came from, the Dreamcast will still have a vast library of games that aren't in Sega's plans. Not to mention the crazy number of multiplayer games, shoot-em-ups, and fighters like Power Stone that would not only rock on Nintendo Switch Online, but would also shine if they used the online multiplayer feature that NSO has added to so much of its retro library. I'd even argue that having these classics on NSO would bring much more popularity to Sega's planned new entries, as it would draw way more attention to the titles that maybe a lot of younger gamers have never even heard of. But the Dreamcast isn't the only retro console that I could see landing on NSO. The next one is a special GameBird 2 for the price of 1, and that's the Nintendo DS and 3DS. Obviously, this one is a bit more complicated. Those platforms utilized dual screen technology and a stylus to create fun and unique experiences. However, despite rumors that Switch 2 will be more iterative console than a complete innovation like in times past, I would not be shocked if Nintendo found some way to incorporate some form of dual screen tech into their next hybrid system. And even if that isn't the case, I'm sure there is some sort of innovative workaround that Nintendo could come up with, even if it's not quite like how we remember. Here's the deal. The Nintendo DS is the second highest selling console of all time right now. The library between DS and 3DS is massive, and there are some amazing experiences on them. To think that Nintendo would just let those titles die on that hardware is crazy. I know we've gotten some ports from those handhelds, like Ghost Trick, The World Ends With You, the upcoming port of Luigi's Mansion 2, but Nintendo needs to continue to grow NSO with more content to keep people engaged and subscribing. This just makes too much sense to pass on, in my opinion. So now we've gone over a few different consoles Nintendo could add to NSO, but what else? Well, one criticism a lot of people have about Switch is how dull or bland the operating system is. People miss the personality of the Wii and Wii U and 3DS. I could see Nintendo changing that with Switch 2, bring back music and themes to the device to give your console, some character. Switch Online could even offer special themes or wallpapers that maybe even are specifically themed around retro Nintendo games. Maybe we could even see Nintendo drop the NSO app for voice chat and finally incorporate a dedicated voice chat for the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. Wouldn't that be amazing? One thing is for sure though, NSO is going to need some new bells and whistles with this next gen. I don't expect all of these enhancements to be in the service at launch, but I do expect some of these to start to trickle into play in 2025, within that first year of Switch 2, assuming that Switch 2 is indeed launching by the end of this year. But what do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. I want to hear your thoughts, your predictions, your hopes for Switch Online when it comes to Switch 2 going into late 2024, 2025. Sound off below. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you all on the next Game Bird Classic. Peace.